So you had the first question, where are you now? Second question is, where are you going to go? And then, so you got, here's you. Let me draw you really good looking. That's you. Here's your goal. So the third question is what? How are you going to get from here to here? Okay? So that's our thing we're going to talk about right now. And just think of it as a GPS. You know, I want to get from here to, what is that, Miami, Florida. And so let's talk about how we're going to get there. And so we're going to do one more survey. It's multiple choice.
The question is, what is the key to obtaining your goal?
So here's the answer. The answer is learning from the best and following their example. Okay? The other ones are good principles to have, but the best one is if you try to blaze the trail all by yourself and figure it all out from scratch, you're not learning from other people who've already blazed that trail. And so maybe if you can learn from them, and then you could tweak it a little bit and go all the way, but it always helps. And so one of the homework things last week was come up with a recipe for whatever one of your goals was. So, you know, how to lose 10 pounds. Search Google and find somebody who lost 10 pounds and what did they do, or how to get your finances together, or how to be a better friend, or whatever. And you can find how to pay off debt, how to do this. You can find it easy, and it could be from your parent if you listen to them. It could be from the internet. It could be, we could learn stuff from church, how to be closer to God. We could learn from everybody. You can learn all this stuff. You got to find a recipe, though. It says in Proverbs 24:27, it says, do your planning and prepare your fields before you build your house. So we need to figure out our recipe to get from here to here. And we got to figure out the recipe. And then we'll talk about what do we do. So here's the thing. There's all kinds of recipes out there. Tons of recipes. And if you think about it, you can find 50 ways to lose 10 pounds. You can find 100 ways to do other things. Those recipes are out there, and they all will probably get you where you need to go. They may get you there at different rates, but they all will probably work. The thing I want to warn you about is beware of those recipes that promise the world in, hey, lose 10 pounds in 15 minutes, or get out of debt in one fell swoop in Las Vegas, these things. You have to beware. I'm just telling you, beware of the recipes that promise too much. You actually don't want a recipe that's going to do it fast, because you'll end up like those NFL guys, right, and those Mike Tyson guys, and the lottery winners and all that. You don't want to end up like that. And so you want to learn how to develop the skill set and find the recipes that do that. Here's the thing. I want to show you guys something. Somebody give me a number between 1 and 10.
8.
8. Okay, 8. Okay, all you guys get your pens out if you're not good at math. If you can do it mentally, that's fine. I want you to pick a number, any number from 1 to, you could do it to 1,000, but I'd recommend you keep a smaller number because it's going to be some math, okay? Pick any number in the world, write that number down. Just on the back of your sheet someplace. This is just that because you're going to do some math. Yeah.
We choose our own number?
Your number. Not, you can pick 8, but you don't pick 8, So everybody have a number. Okay. I want you to double it. Okay? Everybody there? Add 10. Divide by 2. Everybody good? Subtract the number you started with. Okay, multiply by 4. Subtract 12. Where is everybody? And you all started at a different place, right? What was your number? Your starting number, 15? What was your starting number?
6.
What was your starting number, Mike?
My starting was 31.
31. Gavin, what was your starting number? 9. Every single one of you started at a different number. You started at a different place, but did we all get to the same goal? We did. This is our goal, and we got there. And that's something I want to make sure you guys understand. There's tons of recipes. You can start from any place in the world, and you can get a recipe, and you can ultimately get to your goal. And always remember that. You don't have to sit around and say, I got to find the perfect recipe. I'm not moving till I find that perfect recipe. Just find a recipe and start moving, and you'll get there. So I want to illustrate something. I've done this in my Sunday school class a couple times, primarily to get cookies, but I want to illustrate something to you guys. You guys have tasted my wife's cookies. Everybody likes my wife's cookies. You know, people ask her to make them all the time. And so here's the recipe. And so I said, babe, make the cookies tonight, because I get cookies. That's part of the reason I do this illustration, so I get cookies. And I said, and give me the ingredients. And so she gives me all the, she tells me all the ingredients. And so I get all these ingredients, right? And then me, who I don't cook, I just eat. So I look at this recipe and I say, okay, cool. Crisco. I don't even think rats eat Crisco. You can leave this out in the garage for a month, and I don't think they'll take one nibble of this stuff, right? And so I don't want Crisco. Anybody want to take a bite of this? No? Nobody likes Crisco. So I don't want to put Crisco in my cookie because it's nasty. And so I'm not going to put Crisco in my cookies. I'm skipping that part of the recipe, okay? And then, there's chocolate chips. Now I like the chocolate chips, so I'm gonna quadruple the chocolate chips I put in my cookie, okay? So I'm gonna put tons of chocolate chips. I like sugar, so I'm gonna load it with sugar. I put a little extra here. Flour? Oh man, this is like, who wants flour though? It's taste it. I dare you to take a big swig of it, right? But I know you have to have it, so I'll put a little bit of flour in there. And so I'm picking the things I like, and I want them in the cookie, and I'm wanting to leave the bad stuff out of the cookie, right? And last time I had her make one like I would want it, and so I pick all the good stuff and I leave out the bad things, and then it says I got to cook this for 9 minutes. But I want a cookie right now. So instead of putting it 375 for 9 minutes, I'm going to put it at 500 for 3 minutes so I can get a good cookie. And I can get it right now. And they actually end up like that. They end up burnt and nasty, and they're not thick anymore, and they're not soft. And so the cookie turns out terrible. So here's my point. When you get a recipe, number 1, and it's on your sheet, all of the steps are necessary. You can't say, I want to improve my financial situation, and here's the recipe, spend less than you make, and then you just keep spending because you like the spending part. And so whatever your recipe is to get to your goal, you have to include all the ingredients of the recipe, even the ones that aren't so fun. And I was looking at, when I walk home from the gym, I walk by La Mirada High School, and for like 9 months, they're updating all the athletic fields and everything. For like 9 months, all I saw were dirt and bulldozers. And they were just flattening out the ground. And I'm like, come on, build something. And then every time I walk by, they're just flattening out the ground. And they're flattening out the ground. I'm thinking, what in the world is this taking so long? That right there, the flattening out the ground and flattening out the ground and making it even, that's the flower. That's the foundation stuff. You build the foundation first, and then they start building on top of that. So you have to have the bad stuff in addition to adding the good ingredients in there as well. So you can't skip ingredients. And number one is all of the steps are necessary.
Find your blank.
Oh, find your recipe.
Recipe.
Yeah. And then the second part is be patient. Be patient. You know, it takes 9 minutes for those cookies, no matter how hungry I am, it takes 9 minutes for those cookies to cook. Okay? And when you're working toward a goal, understand you're not going to get there tomorrow. You're building the foundation, you're getting closer and closer. And so be patient in the process. And remember, as you're growing, you're learning.